You were snoring.
You wake me up to tell me that?
I woke you up to tell you I'm going shopping.
Oh, then my snoring won't disturb you.
Is there anything you want?
Yes, an amplifier for the next time I snore.
Look, I've got to go. Is there anything you want from the shops?
Yes, there is. New pair of legs, new back, and new brain. You're not writing this down. Look, make it easier for you to remember. See if you can get a whole new me. You were tempted to say, I wish I could, weren't you?
Well, when you're in this sort of mood...
I was asleep when you came in. You can't be in a mood when you're asleep.
Well, go back to sleep then.
I daren't.
Why not?
I was dreaming. I was dreaming I was 18 again, but I was a sultan with a harem of 120 beautiful girls.
I'd have thought that's the sort of dream you'd have wanted to get back to.
Yeah, they were making excessive physical demands and I was terribly tired.
I'm going shopping. If you need anything, Brian's in the study.
And then you couldn't have locked the door. He's escaped.
Well, he was in his study. Talk to him, Brian.
Well.
Yes?
How are you this morning?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. I was in the study.
We've established that.
Working.
I didn't think you were playing with your train set.
I know it's Saturday, but it's the business, you see. So much to do if you want to keep ahead in the plastics game.
Quite right. Rush along the road to success and never stop to admire the flowers.
I do have responsibilities.
And liabilities in my case.
I'll ignore that.
Probably best.
Weather forecast says we're in for a cold snap.
Brian, you're supposed to be talking to me.
I am.
The weather is not what she had in mind. You're supposed to be telling me what an ungrateful old bugger I am. Here you are, my son-in-law, giving me a good home, and how do I repay you? By behaving badly.
Yes, I know.
If I were you, I'd throw me out.
How can I?
Easy. You grab me by the collar and the seat of the trousers, and whoosh, I'm out.
I'll be in the study.
Why don't you get angry? Why don't you shout at me?
I'll be in the study.
There's no need to shout. The thing is, I do behave badly.
I wouldn't call spilling a few crumbs behaving badly.
At home.
I was just making a little joke.
I'm not in the mood for little jokes.
You'd like me to try and think of a big one?
No, thank you. Are you going to listen to me being unusually honest or not?
I suppose I should. Must rank as a special occasion.
I do it on purpose, you know. I'm punishing my daughter and her husband for something which isn't their fault. It's not their fault, I'm old.
You haven't just discovered that you're old, have you?
Don't know. I hung on to being late middle age for a long time. The rest just crept up on me like a thief in the night.
I knew the very day when I was old. It was the day I cycled to the library and walked home.
Too tired to cycle?
No, I forgot the bicycle.
Well, I wouldn't have that problem.
Well, you're claiming you've got a good memory?
No, I can't ride a bicycle. Why does that child insist on calling me his other granddad?
Well, perhaps two honorary granddads make up for the father he doesn't have.
Oh.
In any case, he likes you.
Well, why should he like me?
I don't know. I wouldn't if I were a child.
I wanted a flattering answer, not an honest one.
How many brandies today?
I have one. He had 83.
It's nice to see you again. Come in.
Unless you want to go on the bike first.
Why don't you take your shoes off?
I'd like to, actually.
So do it.
Betty would never suggest I do that.
I've got a thing about men in socks.
Why didn't you find a husband?
Is that a proposal?
If I were 3 years younger, it would be. Ellie,
Yeah?
you know that friend I mentioned to you, the one who asked me to inquire about renting a room here?
Yes, I remember.
Well, it wasn't a friend. It was me.
I know.
Oh, I thought I was being so subtle.
I wish I did have a room. If someone were to leave...
I suppose a murder's a bit obvious.
A little.
Yeah, just a thought.
I'm sure your daughter would miss you.
She'd be inconsolable for about half an hour.
Perhaps you should try harder to get on with her.
I may be her father, but I'm not her type. Now, Harry, he is her type. He takes care in his appearance. He's well behaved.
Except when he's drinking brandy with you.
I'll ignore that. I wonder if he'd like to swap places.
Hello there.
Harry?
Grandad and I have been drawing.
Have you? What have you drawn?
Me and Grandad.
Why haven't I got any ears?
I don't draw ears
I see. Why am I smiling?
because you're happy.
And why am I happy?
Because you're smiling.
Go and get yourself a biscuit, Neil.
Yippee!
Look here. Would you like to exchange homes?
No.
Now, you can give me a direct answer if you want to.
Peter, go home.
You throwing me out?
I mean, go home and talk. Tell them how you really feel.
That'll take days.
Apologise for behaving badly.
That'll take weeks.
Make the peace.
That would take years. You didn't have to walk home with me. I can find my way by myself.
I want to see where you live. Very smart district, isn't it?
Not with me in it.
Hello, Dad.
Hello.
Aren't you going to introduce me?
Oh, yes, of course. This is a friend of mine, Harry. Harry, this is my daughter, Betty.
How do you do?
How very nice to meet you. Here, let me give you a hand with some of those bags.
Why, thank you. How very kind.
I was just going to make some tea. Would you like to join us?
Now, that's very kind of you.
Do come in.
Thank you.
How very nice to meet you. Do let me give you a hand with those bags. Nobody's giving me a hand, are they?
Have another sandwich, Harry.
No, thank you. No more for me. I really must be going.
Oh, so soon.
I wanted to show you those brochures we were talking about.
Why don't you stay the night? I can always sleep in the garden shed.
Dad, perhaps another time, Harry, you will come and see us again, won't you?
Well,
Yes, do. We'd be very pleased to see you.
thank you. Thank you so much again for the tea.
Look here. Can I run you home in the car?
It's very kind, but it's not far, really.
Provided he can remember the way.
Dad, I'll get your coat, Harry.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
If you're not too busy going about brightening up people's lives.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye, Harry. Nice to meet you.
What a charming man.
Yes,
So polite.
yes.
Usually, you know, when I say I'm in plastics, people don't seem very interested.
Well, that's because it's a boring subject.
Your friend didn't think so.
I wouldn't say, though. He's too well-mannered.
Which makes a nice change.
Here we go.
I simply made an observation.
It was a dig.
Now, let's not argue, Dad. You should be pleased that we like him.
Look, I didn't bring him round here for your approval. But I didn't bring him in. He was whisked from under my nose while I was left with hundreds of bags of shopping.
Hundreds?
Well, thousands, then.
I'll be honest with you, Dad. I don't understand what Harry sees in you.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, I don't.
Or perhaps I'm the dark side of his moon. Perhaps I'm the evil Mr. Hyde to his kindly Dr. Jekyll.
Now, don't put yourself down, Dad.
Why not? That's what you two are doing.
We were only saying what a nice man Harry is.
All right, fine.
Well, he is.
All right!
Look, just take this through.
Look, Dad, if ever you should take an interest in plastics, it was just a thought.
He only has one a year, and that's the best he can do.
And don't take it out on Brian. Dad, your feet.
Betty, don't state the obvious. I know they're my feet.
Hello, my friend.
I'm not your friend, you don't know me.
Everyone is our friend.
You cold?
We have our faith.
I have to rely on thermal underwear.
Here. Hare Krishna.
You don't mind if I carry on, do you?
No. Dry up if you like.
Fine.
Oh. All right. Actually, I wanted a word with Captain Wonderful, Harry.
He's out. Call me ultra-sensitive, but I thought you said Captain Wonderful a little sarcastically.
He walked home with me yesterday. Came in for tea.
Well, that was nice.
No, it wasn't. It was humiliating.
Why? What did he do?
He behaved perfectly. That's what he did.
Ah.
Really?
My bread's ready.
Oh.
No. Ah.
Tell them how you really feel, you said. Make the peace, you said. And I intended to. I really intended to try. Till Goody Two-Shoes came to tea.
Ah.
Well, why do you keep saying "ah" like that?
I'm talking to my bread.
You mean talking to your bread is more interesting than talking to me?
Meaning, I know the rest of your story.
I haven't told you yet.
Well, you don't have to. You went home with the intention of being on your best behaviour. But who should you have with you but Harry, to whom best behaviour comes naturally?
Yes.
And the more your daughter responded to it, the less you liked it. You got jealous and you sulked. You're still sulking.
Why'd you buy bread? Why'd you bake your own?
It's cheaper.
Doesn't look all that wonderful to me.
I'm right, then.
Broadly speaking. I can't be like Harry. I'm just me.
You don't make it sound like an apology.
I'm not apologising. I'm angry. I'm angrier than everyone else.
That's a huge claim.
Well, I'm angrier than most.
What are you angry about?
I don't know. Being old. Frightened of being alone and old. Not having Margaret.
Let's have some bread. I love warm bread.
Now, look here. Are you an unmarried mother renting rooms, or are you a psychiatrist in disguise?
Just me.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. You said it first. Here.
Not bad, actually.
Thank you.
So where is Captain Wonderful?
You mentioned going into the wine bar. Thought we might bump into you there.
I'm not going that way.
Well, I'll tell him you called then.
I might go near it.
Tell him that lunch is early this afternoon. I've got to take Neil for a walk.
I didn't say I was going in the wine bar.
Well, if you should happen to.
God, if I were 2 years younger, I'd ask you to marry me.
It was 3 years yesterday.
Your homemade bread. It's an aphrodisiac.
Oh. Good morning.
I was just passing.
Really?
Yes, I wasn't coming this way at all, but Ellie gave me a message for you, so I came in specially.
Oh, very kind of you. What was the message?
Lunch will be early because she's taking Neil for a walk.
Lunch is always early on Sundays because she takes Neil for a walk. She's cleverer than the two of us put together.
Only marginally.
Oh, yes, only marginally.
Brandy, please.
Isn't it rather early?
I got up early. This is afternoon for me. You behaved abominably at my daughter's house yesterday.
I think I'll go now.
Why did you have to be so bloody nice?
What do you want me to be, nasty?
Natural.
I was natural.
Then you should have put on a performance, shown me in a good light. But no, you had to be a paragon of all the virtues.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see, you said thank you for me.
Miss?
Thank you.
Better now?
Why is everyone in such a clever mood today?
Some of us have a right to be.
Meaning you?
Meaning me.
Why, what have you done? Got your shoes on the right feet?
I'll ignore that. Listen, if you really got the chance to rent a room at Ellie's, would you take it?
I'd be round there so fast there'd be scorch marks on the pavement.
Then I have a plan.
Well, you don't want to change places with me.
A plan to get you a room.
But Ellie only has 3 to rent, and they're all taken.
I was talking about persuading someone to leave.
Blackmail?
No, not blackmail. One of the lodgers is called Miss Byron. She's a retired lady, keeps very much to herself. But yesterday, we really got talking for the first time.
You dog.
What?
You're going to ask her to move into your room.
I was talking about persuading her to leave.
Oh, yes, so you were.
Now, the thing is, Miss Byron's nephew lives in New York, and he keeps writing to her, asking her to go over there and live with him and his wife.
Ah.
She's very tempted. You see, I get the feeling that if someone were to give her a final little push, she'd go.
I wonder how she'd feel about being taken out for Sunday lunch.
Come on, Harry. What are you up to?
I'm not up to anything.
You've never shown any interest in Miss Byron before.
I've worshipped her from afar.
Rubbish.
There's nothing wrong in taking her to lunch, is there?
I just find it suspicious.
Why?
Because you said Peter's going too.
You'd find that very hurtful.
I doubt it. She's a very nice lady, Miss Byron. You just be careful with her.
We're not planning to sell her to white slavers.
I'm ready.
You look very elegant, Miss Byron.
You must call me Pickles.
Pickles?
It's my pet name. My family always used to call me Pickles.
How charming.
Where's my other escort?
At the restaurant. Awaiting your arrival with bated breath.
Oh, how sweet.
He's a sweet man. Shall we go?
Pickles.
Yes, it's charming, isn't it?
Yes, it is charming. I shall never eat pickles again without thinking of you.
What a sweet thing to say.
Well now, what about a drink while we look at the menu?
A beer, perhaps?
Oh, no. This is a special occasion. It's not often that I'm taken out to lunch by a gentleman, let alone 2. Let's have champagne.
Champagne?
What a good idea.
Yes, what a good idea.
I don't know if I mentioned this, Peter, but Miss Pickles is thinking of emigrating to the United States.
What an extraordinary coincidence.
Why? Are you thinking of emigrating too?
No, I've just come back.
My nephew and his wife live in New York.
That is incredible, because New York is where I have just come back from.
New Amsterdam,
The
originally.
Big Apple.
Is it wonderful?
Is it wonderful? The Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, Broadway, the White House.
I thought the White House was in Washington.
Yes, I know. I'm talking about a different sort of White House altogether.
Yes, the White House Peter's referring to, Pickles, is a very famous restaurant in New York.
One of many restaurants, I hasten to add.
My nephew writes almost every week asking me to go and live with him.
Then why are you sitting here, Pickles? Why aren't you racing to Heathrow at this moment?
It's a big step.
Not a step, a leap. A leap into the magic of Manhattan. Fifth Avenue, Central Park, Macy's, Big Dog Goodman.
Bergdorf.
Is the Bronx in Manhattan?
Ah, now let me think.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Why do you ask that, Pickles?
Well, because my nephew lives in the Bronx.
Does he?
Then he is a very lucky man, because the Bronx is even more magical than Manhattan.
Is it? What's in the Bronx?
All sorts of things.
Endless things and more.
He's terribly keen on the idea. He writes to me almost every week.
Now, why keep disappointing him?
Well, it's a long way to go.
3 hours on Concorde?
But isn't Concorde terribly expensive?
Reduced prices for OAPs. I can't understand why you hesitate, Pickles.
I think about it a lot.
Then stop thinking and do.
Dare I?
Of course you dare.
A new world.
A new life.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes!
Oh.
I believe it today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. La, da, da, da,
So what's her room like?
I don't know. I've never been in it.
I forgot. I was talking to a gentleman. Anyway, I know I like it. It's a good house, this. A proper home.
It's not as though we persuaded her against her will, is it?
Of course it isn't. She was perched like a boulder on a steep hill. All she was waiting for was a gentle push.
I wonder when she'll go.
I shouldn't be surprised if she's packing her cases now. I won't bring much luggage with me when I move in.
You'll bring your skateboard?
Oh, naturally.
I knew you were up to something.
I'm making 2 pathetic little cups of cocoa.
Lunchtime. I was talking to Miss Byron.
Who is a very happy woman.
She's happy because she doesn't get invited to lunch very often.
No, she's not. She's happy because she's emigrating to America.
She's not getting closer to America than Wimbledon High Street.
You've changed her mind. And I thought you were desperately keen for me to move in here.
I don't remember saying desperately keen.
Well, all right, you said you'd have me.
Just about.
So why change your mind?
Peter, there's nothing in America for Miss Byron.
Nothing there? A lovely nephew that writes to her every week begging her to come and live with him?
I've got the letter. She gave it to me for safekeeping.
What do you mean, the letter?
That's all he wrote. One letter 15 years ago.
But he did ask her to go and live with him.
No. He said a visit would be nice sometime, and he never wrote again.
We bought lunch for a lunatic.
Oh, she's not mad.
Well, she's not totally sane.
She just needs a dream. Everybody needs a dream.
Well, I still think she's balmy.
Well, I hope not. Because I have a dream. I have a dream that one day this wonderful man will walk into my life and he'll love me, he'll love Neil, and we'll be a family and live happily ever after.
Yeah, but you're young. It could come true.
And what if it doesn't and I'm still dreaming the same dream when I'm 70 years old? Would you call me balmy then?
I'll be dead then.
Would you?
No. No, I'd listen to the dream as often as you told it. And I'd buy you champagne whenever I could afford it.
Because I'd be like Miss Byron.
No, because you've got better legs than Miss Byron. Oh, well, this cocoa's getting cold.
A music student has the other room. He practices the violin a lot. Perhaps if I bought a drum kit.
Bit obvious. No, perhaps me ever getting a room here should be our dream.
We don't have that long to dream it.
That's true. Good night, Harry.
Night, Peter.
Thank you for lunch, you naughty man.
Pleasure.
My nephew will write again next week. I'll tell him that this time I've really decided.
Yes, you do that. Sweet dreams, Pickles.
Well, next week, Peter and Harry form a football team. That's My Good Friend, next Tuesday at 8:30.